Welcome to the Cyber Guide for the Washington Monument in Washington, D.C. Cyber Guides are narrated videos that provide interesting information about notable sites and monuments around town. This is the third of several Cyber Guides on the Washington Monument and includes detail about the neglect, ridicule, the decision to make the monument an obelisk, and the impressive feats of engineering that had to occur in order to make that a reality. As we discussed in the previous Cyber Guide, after George Washington died in 1799, several decades passed before any meaningful progress occurred in honoring him with a monument on the National Mall of the United States Capitol. Even after a prominent architect was selected and his extravagant design was approved, progress ground to a halt in the late 1850s amid problems securing funding, infighting within the private fundraising organization known as the Washington National Monument Society, and uncertainty brought on by the increasing likelihood of the nation splintering in a civil war. As unimpressive as the progress was, unfortunately, the next several decades would be even worse. During the Civil War, the monument grounds were used for a variety of purposes, including housing troops. The grounds were also used for holding livestock to feed the troops. Mark Twain famously referred to the partially completed monument as a hollow, oversized chimney. In his book, The Gilded Age, published in 1873, Twain wrote these satirical comments. It has the aspect of a factory chimney with the top broken off. The skeleton of a decaying scaffolding lingers about its summit, and tradition says that the spirit of Washington often comes down and sits on those rafters to enjoy this tribute of respect which the nation has reared as the symbol of its unappeasable gratitude. Twain then goes on to say, the memorial chimney stands in a quiet pastoral locality that is full of reposeful expression. You can see the cowsheds about its base, and the contented sheep nibbling pebbles in the desert solitudes that surround it, and the tired pigs dozing in the holy calm of its protecting shadow. To be sure, this was a scathing set of comments about the state of neglect into which the monument had fallen. 1876 marked the 100th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. Congress, tired of the ridicule and sarcasm, appropriated $200,000 so work could resume on the monument, but two large issues had to be resolved. The first issue was determined what the finished monument should look like. It was obvious to most that the original design was too expensive. The decision to eliminate the colonnade and the Washington on a chariot statue in favor of a simple single column was not uniformly well received. As far back as 1855, architect Robert Mills had commented it would look like a stalk of asparagus. As shown on the diagram that is now on your screen, some consideration was given to changing the top of the monument. Congress deliberated over 5 completely new proposed designs, concluding that the one by William Wetmore Story, shown in the upper left of the image that is now on your screen, was vastly superior in artistic taste and beauty. Ultimately, however, they chose not to pursue any of the redesigned proposals. The second question was whether the existing foundation was stable enough to support whatever the new design turned out to be. When Congress appropriated the money, they also engaged the Army Corps of Engineers to finish the project. The COE, under the direction of Lieutenant Colonel Thomas Lincoln Casey, surveyed the foundation and concluded it was inadequate to hold any of the proposed designs. They embarked on an astonishing project that reworked the foundation while the 150-foot structure towered above them. The engineers took measurements daily to be sure the structure did not tilt or tip over as the excavation and refill was being done. The old dirt and stone foundation was replaced with a deeper and wider concrete base. In one of his reports, Casey summarized the enormity of the project. 51% of the cubical contents of the old foundation was removed, and 48% of the area of the shaft undermined. The work on the foundation was finished and tested in late 1879. The foundation was so well balanced that the engineers estimated a 145-mile-an-hour wind would not topple the obelisk. Incidentally, after the stonework was completed, the foundation was further stabilized by packing dirt around the base and using landscaping to create the appearance that you see today, namely that the monument was built on a gentle knoll. As Congress and the Society deliberated about how to proceed, an emphatic suggestion came from an unexpected source. George Perkins Marsh, a former congressman from Vermont who was serving as ambassador to the Kingdom of Italy, had a wide variety of interests, which included studying the obelisks of ancient Egypt. Marsh responded to a request for suggestions about changes to Robert Mill's original design with directness that is unusual for a diplomat. Throw out all the gingerbread of the Mills design and keep only the obelisk. He went on to point out that the height of a typical obelisk was 10 times the size of the base. Because the base of the Washington Monument was 55 feet square, the proportionate height should be approximately 550 feet, not 600 feet, as was originally proposed. We hope you have enjoyed this cyber guide and encourage you to visit our next presentation on the Washington Monument.